Hello, welcome. Let's continue our study. During the 19th century, science demonstrated that some of the dogmas and ideas imposed by religious were not actually true because they did not make any sense. So, therefore, intellectuals became materialists. But the scientific research of the French scholar Hyppolite Ravail brought us light to the understanding of God, the universe, and life itself. The turning table phenomenon, which we mentioned in a previous study, revealed that immaterial intelligence was in fact responsible for the event itself, for the phenomenon. Hyppolite directed several well-formulated questions to those intelligences in search for answers to things that he couldn't yet understand. So let's start talking about what these intelligences responded to Hyppolite about God and all creation. More than 1,000 questions were asked, and they were very wisely answered. They were organized as a Q&A to make it easier for us to understand. The very first question was, what is God? And the answer was, the supreme intelligence where all came from. Another question was, what are God's attributes? The answer was, God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, eternal, infinitely good, and fair. Hyppolite wanted to know who was answering his questions, and the answer was, the ones responding were beings that had already inhabited Earth. People like us, that as spirits were revealing what happens after death, and that their objective was to help us understand more about everything since our ignorance had been leading us to so many bad decisions. They were explaining how this knowledge would help us, human beings, make wiser decisions in our lives. But they also said that if someday, and listen to this, science leads to something against what they've said, that science should prevail. Science and religion should walk side by side. If all comes from God, as the creator of all sciences, religion must not contradict science. It was groups with very strong personal interests that prohibited people from being educated. Information revealed to us was distorted since ancient Greece, and grafted concepts that were never taught or mentioned by Jesus. They muffled this knowledge through the idea of an almighty God that should be feared because of the punishment that one could suffer after life or even during life. So God was this dreadful image of punishment, and from this, humanity faced denial. All of this had a huge impact on the development of our civilization. But now we are in a new era where fundamental questions come to our minds, and we are in an intense search for answers. We have a lot of science research going on. Then there was another question. Where do we go after death? Next time we see each other, we will talk about what was revealed about what happens to us after death. And I will see you then.